All right, Treehut Watches reached out to the channel and asked for an honest review, and I was like, absolutely. So, what we're going to do is we're going to go over some of the positives, and of course, I'm going to give you guys some of the negatives. Just because a watch company reaches out to the channel does not mean I'm going to sugarcoat it. I'm going to give it to you guys straight on this episode of...
Hi, good night, everybody.
Okay, I'm just going to unbox this very quickly for you. This is a Treehut. It actually has that outer sleeve here for you, so you just take it out of the outer sleeve. This is like a canvas, got some neat designs. I'm not really sure where they're getting here. I mean, I know this is a California company, so it just looks like it's a lot of fun stuff here, Treehut, right there. We slide it out, and here we go. We're in the right way here. Very good materials, hard cardboard there. This is very soft, almost velvety here. Yeah, and then again, some good packaging here. I mean, just it's a basic gift box, and there's the watch itself, the Atlas, and this is the ebony white marble, and this is actually their first automatic line, and this one can be had for right around $489, and I want to comment on that a little bit later on in the video, so you want to stay tuned on whether or not this is indeed worth the price tag. So let's take a close look at that dial. We do have a genuine marble dial, and I must say, really nice. I don't know of any other watch, nor have I ever seen another watch with a marble dial. So that definitely caught my eye for sure. Now, obviously, you get an open heart design, and you see the heartbeat of the watch. And this is actually utilizing the heartbeat of the Seiko NH38 movement. So you are getting a true and tried movement. This thing is reliable to the helm, and it's a good choice, I must admit. This movement's going to beat at 21,600 beats per hour, and we take a look at it on the time graph, and this thing is dialed in to perfection. This is actually gaining 0 seconds a day according to the time graph. This obviously can fluctuate depending on position. So before we really get more into that dial, I want to check something here because it doesn't say on the website what this is. And just as I suspected, this is indeed a mineral crystal on both sides. If we are looking for sapphire, obviously the probe here, as you can see, will start getting to the yellow section. So we're not getting sapphire there. Which is kind of a bummer at this price point. The other bummer is the fact that I'm not seeing any luminescence at all on the numerals or the handset. And speaking of the handset, it's kind of a generic and just elegant kind of handset, but generic. Now, I do like the fact that they use the Treehut logo as the counterbalance on the second hand, but I would have liked to have seen something different, something thicker with some luminescence on the handset. We do get some applied Roman numerals, which I do like. I do like that, but this is not a dress piece. This is indeed a sports watch. And it's not a full-on sports watch, which is something I want to get into. And obviously, that's because we actually have wood throughout the watch. We have the ebony wood inset here. This is actual wood. And we also get the ebony center links, which is actually pretty cool. I have to admit, it's a pretty cool look. Now, the drawback to this is the fact that you can't submerge this watch into water with this bracelet. Because it is wood, wood expands and contracts. And also, they do recommend this not to be out in the sun for too long because the wood can crack. This is a stainless steel of some sort. Whether or not it's 316, it doesn't say. The brushing is okay. It's a little wonky. It's not quite up to par of a lot of brands, that, including Seiko. And I know this isn't comparable to Seiko, but when we're looking at a $500 watch, I'm expecting better finishing here, and it's just not a $500 finishing job in my book. Now, when we look at the bracelet tolerances here, we do see that there is some wiggle back and forth. Here, I mean, you can see daylight through there. And to me, that just screams just quality control. I mean, you can even see the spring bar there. So it's not as refined as I'd like it to be, including the links themselves. Again, the brushing could be better. We do get a butterfly clasp, and there you go. The action on it is just fine, more than acceptable. But again, you're not going to get that fine adjustment though, like you would with a regular clasp. For example, I'm just going to take off the watch I have on today, and this is actually the Tudor GMT. And trust me, guys, I'm not comparing. But this is actually a aftermarket bracelet, by the way, and these are the fine adjustments you can get with a bracelet or a clasp such as this that you can't get with the butterfly. And the links, they actually can be taken out. You actually need 2 screwdrivers, all right, and they do give that to you, by the way. And let me show you what this actually comes with real quick, because I actually forgot to tell you. So it does come with this nice thick stock. It's a nice presentation here. You open that up and you slide this out, and you're left with some goodies here. First and foremost, you get a certificate of authenticity. I'm not sure who would fake these watches, but there you go there. Just saying, guys, I'm just being real here. Like, there's a lot of wood watches out there on the market. I have to say that this is a better quality than I have seen. So kudos there. And this just goes into like the history. You know, this is a San Francisco company here, guys, and it is 2014. Nature-inspired wood and marble watches from California. The mission is to bring nature, love, and balance. So very, you know, like hippie type mentality. This is the family and their story here. They basically started off in their basements, and it's a family-owned and company, which, you know, there's definitely a little bit of a love story there, right, guys? Tells you how to set the watch here, and there is engraving if you'd like for groomsmen gifts and corporate gifts and whatnot. Tons of designs, and they tell you about the care. And here's where the heat right there, it tells you right there, you do not want to keep that in the heat because it can crack the watch. They are saying that this is indeed water resistant. I wouldn't put this anywhere near water, guys. Please do not submerge the watch, but it is splash and beach proof. You know, my issue there is obviously on the beach, you're going to go into the water. So obviously it's not beach proof because unless you're just sunbathing, okay? I know this is a 50 meters water resistant watch, so it basically has the same water resistance as a dress watch. And I think you need to treat this as a dress watch, even though it has the mistaken identity of looking like a sports watch. So, you know, guys, I had to give a little bit of leeway here with a company that's really not. It's not a watch company in my eyes. This is really, you know, a family-owned company that wanted to use, you know, natural elements to go into a watch and make a unique presentation, and they have accomplished that, guys. But, you know, to a true watch enthusiast, they've really fallen short on quite a few components that you'd expect out of a $500 watch. I will say that I am indeed impressed that they're using the Seiko movement and that it is dialed in to really good specs there, and it's keeping very accurate time. But for the reasons that I stated, This watch does fall short in regards to being worth its price tag of almost $500, guys. So they do have other watches you could check out on the site that are significantly less expensive, more affordable, but they are quartz watches, guys. So if you want to go into a more affordable piece, I would recommend going for that. But again, these are just really just fashion watches, guys. So don't take them so seriously. But I just wanted to give you guys an honest review of, from a watch enthusiast point of view. I think most people that buy this watch are not buying it for the things that I mentioned here. So take that with a grain of salt. We are getting a 43 millimeter case diameter, and the thickness of the watch right around a 13 millimeter. We're looking at 12.7 millimeters there, right, guys? And then I believe we're looking at 22 mil. Yeah, these are 22 mil lug width, okay? And then the watch wears pretty good on the wrist because you've got the lugs that taper down. Our lug to lug is indeed 50 millimeters, guys. So pretty wearable on my 7-inch wrist, which I will show you right here. Again, it's a very light watch because it's using the wood center links. Now, the other reason why, and there you go on the wrist there. Look, it's a good looking watch. I mean, it will definitely get attention. The other thing I wanted to mention was the fact that they say this is not an interchangeable. They say it's a non-interchangeable bracelet. And I don't know why they state that, because these do have spring bars just like any other watch. I think there's a mistake in regards to, because they state this with a lot of their watches, and I don't understand why they state that. I don't know if they mean it's not a quick change or whatever, but you can totally interchange this with an aftermarket strap or bracelet, no problem. There is, from what I see, it doesn't appear to be anti-reflective coating on the mineral crystal, but I have to admit, like in lights, it's not hard to read. But I will admit, like around the open heart design, these handsets really do get lost. I just wish they would have done something different with the handset. There you go, guys. I'm going to flip the camera around and just give you guys some final thoughts. All right, so some final thoughts on the Treehut watch company. As I stated, some of the negatives of this watch. It's a unique watch. It's definitely a watch that you're going to get a lot of conversation with. A lot of people are going to notice it because at the end of the day, it's a very unique piece. There are a lot of people out there that don't like wood watches. I personally don't own any wood watches, and I'm probably not going to keep this one as well. I think they're cool. But just because I think something's cool doesn't mean that I'm going to wear it or even keep it in my collection. So this definitely is a niche type of watch. There are a few things that definitely should be improved on in order to make this watch worth the money that they're charging. They are using a Seiko automatic movement. They are using, wood and marble, and the machining all that stuff isn't the easiest process in the world, but at the end of the day, you can't put this watch in wood, or you can't leave it in direct sun because it has the wood link. So the practicality of this watch, even though it does have a water resistance, you really can't even put this in the water because the wood expands and it can crack, and that's why there's not even tight tolerances on the bracelet, because there has to be room for that expansion and contraction. So it's a neat novelty, but it's a bit too expensive for what you're getting, and there's just too many quirks for me personally to really dig into this. So I wish it had some luminova. I wish the handset was just nicer. I mean, it's just so basic and cheap looking for me. But I think the wood is done very nicely. And the steel is even a little bit awkward. It doesn't feel like the most quality steel. It's just not as refined as I was hoping it to be for a watch that was like right around $500, guys. So that's my 2 cents, guys. You can keep the change, and always remember that there's always time to be kind to one another. Please take care of each other, and I'll see you guys next time on Average Joe Watch Reviews. God bless, my friends.